Hello guys and welcome to another video. My name's Mark, I'm an entrepreneur and property investor, and in today's video I've been looking forward to doing this. We're going to be talking about the 18-year property cycle and how the next crash, if the market follows that prediction, will be happening in 2026. More importantly, what the next 4 or 5 years are going to contain, because if the cycle continues as it should, we will be in for the best boom years we have seen in our lifetime. And last year, 13.8% growth throughout the UK, we're looking already like we're having that boom taking place. Now, before I get into the video, before we go to the whiteboard, if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. We give away the dividends from our dividend portfolio every month, so our subscribers are getting cash every single month. On top of that, we're going to be giving away an investment property once we get to 100,000 subscribers. I don't know any other channel that is doing something like that, so get subscribed guys, click that bell notification, I'd massively appreciate it, and give it a like so that other people can be notified of content like this. Now, as you know, anybody who's already subscribed to me, I'm moving house at the moment, so there's stuff everywhere. I do apologize about that, but let's get into the whiteboard and get into the video, because this data is going to blow your mind. Let's go guys. No, wait. I want to roll some B-roll as well, because this is the last time I'm going to be filming in this house. So let's roll some B-roll and you can completely indulge yourself, Nick. Go crazy, do whatever you want, and then we'll go to the whiteboard. Let's go guys. So guys, welcome to the whiteboard. Let's get into the video. Let's start talking about the impending property crash of 2026 if we follow the 18-year cycle like we have so many times before. So what is the 18-year cycle and how does it relate to property? Now, Fred Harrison, he's a British economic commentator, and he wrote a book in 2005 called Boom and Bust. And that essentially predicted the 2008-2009 housing crisis very accurately. And in fact, he was floating these ideas back in 1998 when he was looking back on data of 200 years of UK property data, and he could see a very clear cycle emerging of 18 years. And we kind of went through this phase where we would have a crash, then a recovery, then a wobble, then a boom, then a crash, and it went over and over again, and that cycle repeated itself every 18 years. If we look more recently, we had a crash in 1954, 18 years later in 1972 there was another one. In 1990, a further crash, and in 2008, most people watching this channel will remember the great financial crisis, which was another property crash. Now, if we follow the 18-year cycle yet again, 2026 would be the predicted date that we will have the next market crash. Now, if we bring up the graph, and Nick, put the graph up here where it shows about the crash, recovery, correction, and all that sort of stuff, so we can see the sort of cycle and how it plays out every single time. Very accurate, guys. Between 1 to 4 years, the crash takes place. In 2008, most people will be aware, it took between 1 and 3 years, depending on where you were in the country, for the house prices to completely bottom out. At the time they went through the recovery phase, which was between 4 and 11 years. Now in London, obviously that recovery took much less time. We started reaching highs once again quite quickly. In parts of the northeast, it only happened last year. So the recovery phase takes between, on average, 4 to 11 years. After that, we have a small correction of between 1 and 2 years in years 11 or 13, and then we go through the absolute boom years. And if you look back in 2004 to 2008, there was a real property boom throughout the UK, and that's what we're entering now. And it seems very much that cycle's repeating itself. Everybody will have seen the headlines, and I'll put some up here, or I won't, Nick will. So we'll put some headlines up here. Record house prices, right? The growth, 13-14% last year. Huge growth throughout the UK. Most people are saying unsustainable. I'm saying it's just the beginning. I think we're entering this boom phase, and it's supported by really low interest rates and lots of government policy. And ultimately, the government are taking an equity stake in a lot of properties with the 20% guarantee mortgage, the 95% that people can borrow, reducing the amount that people need for deposits. They're taking a real equity stake in all of this, so they can affect the outcome. Property prices are starting to boom. I believe that's only going to continue for the next 4 to 5 years. And I'm not the only one. If we bring up another graph now, Nick, the one with Savills and their predictions, again, it shows the 18-year cycle, and Savills are now saying that over the next 4 to 5 years, they're expecting 25 to 30% growth throughout UK property. Now that's a huge amount. That's an average of like 7% a year. Really, really strong growth for the next 4 years. I really tend to agree with that. I think there's a lot of government policy backing up property prices. I think interest rates are nice and low. There's lots of supporting data to suggest that there's a reduction in supply. Not as many houses were built last year as were needed, as has been the case for many decades in the UK. So my belief is we are entering this boom phase in a really strong way. And I've put my money where my mouth is. Last year, I bought 4 properties. I owned 13, I bought 4 of them last year. So this year, I expect to be purchasing another 2 or 3. And I'm doing a big development project, putting about 500,000 into a big property and building that out. I'm very much putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm expecting property prices to continue to boom. Do I think there'll be a crash? Absolutely. Every time there's a boom in history, a crash follows. It's extremely naive, I believe, to think that this time it's different. In fact, it's been quoted many times that the most expensive words in investing are "this time it's different." I don't believe for 1 second it is. I think this time it's exactly the same. We'll get carried away, we'll bid up the prices, the boom will take place, and then there'll be a crash. But do I want to take part in the boom? You bet I want to take part in the boom. And I believe that that boom is taking place right now. So I'm going to continue to buy for the next 2 or 3 years. I think there will be a point where it will look obvious that the market's getting extremely overheated. But at the moment, it doesn't seem that way to me. Mortgages are still very, very affordable with sub 1% interest rates. Until interest rates start to rise, I can't see an issue. I think property prices are just going to continue to rise. But guys, put down in the comments what your opinions are. I will interact with absolutely everybody who replies on this video. I can't wait to hear your opinions. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. We put out content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I can't wait to see you on some of my other videos. Guys, let me know in the comments, as I said, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers, guys. So Nick, what's your favourite part of the house?
Definitely this table here.
The table?
Yeah.
Mate, it's coming with us. We get to keep that. Go on, do it. Meow. Do you reckon that shot can go in?
Definitely.
Go on, get that shot in the film. I don't think people realise what you look like doing this. Go back round.